I just thought of high as possibly being a tool because we often use it synonymously with drug taking and substance taking that puts us into this state of high, whether it's alcohol, where it's like a negative, poisonous state, or that dulls you and everything, um, or is it that it's high and its type of what am I talking about? See, this is one of the dangers, is that you lose your train of thought and you get distracted and you sound like you're making nonsense, talking nonsense, but you're actually making sense, a lot of it, and you find it very difficult to actually explain the whole story. Now, this is a reoccurring theme, and it's an indication that I've slightly gone beyond the boundary where I'm able to maintain enough control and enough wherewithal to document and display patterns of recognition that I see in order to actually put them in a cohesive manner in order to communicate. Because it's maddening feeling like I'm constantly going on journeys of like profound insight. I'm tuning in intuition and inspiration, and I'm tuning into my body, and I'm tuning into my higher forms of self, right? Which are the body and the high state or in the zone. And I'm tuning into a higher frequency, i.e., high, to be a tool that I use in order to get what I want. That sounds like ego. How dare he? How dare ego think of high as a tool and the mind as a tool? They are both aspects, shared aspects, that are part of ourselves. I mentioned earlier that we commonly refer to ourselves as the mind, the body, and something else. And if you are in the realm of understanding our ego, then you say, oh, yes, that's identity, that's form, that's sense of self, that's ego, and nothing else. No. How dare you, ego, try to make everything about you? There are other neglected aspects. High is one of them. There are other two. They are way more difficult to actually define. They're much further away from form. They are. They can be seen as benevolent or malevolent, but that's not really the case, I don't think. That's something that we scale. They are part of the trichotomy of truth. And anyway, I can refer to them later. I still haven't shared any visual diagrams, illustrations of what I'm talking about. It will be really helpful, I think. That's what I should do soon. But somehow I'm more scared to do that because I'm still working on that in the background. And I want to put together something good, something convincing enough. Because otherwise, this can be easily just, diary ramblings, right? An unconscious stream of thought, of inspiration. Okay, coming back. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. The the highs can take you too high, and you can become enthralled in high as well. All right, all right. Damn it. What was I saying? Pick one and stick to one. The pain in my neck. I wanted to relieve the pain in my neck. So I went and constructed a neck. I ordered a neck brace to sit on my chair and just keep my head upright, take some relief off. And in that process, I realized that my neck is constantly under tension when I try to relax it, when I try to stretch it. And so it's getting me more in touch with my body. I'm allowing myself to go, oh, what's the evidence in front of me? I have pain. I have discomfort. I have bad sleep. I'll get to sleep later. But here is pain. Here's discomfort. Here's tension. Okay, try to release it yourself. I think I can. I think I can. And then you realize, no, I don't feel like fully, like all the muscles in that area, just you're able to control that release of tension. Can you relax them? If the answer is maybe or no, then definitely look at ways to try and see how you can make them relaxed or relax them yourself, ideally. And so this is tuning into the body in a very useful way. Ego and the mind can work together to say, let's form a solution to help body. And this is a very, very healthy process, right? That everyone should be advocated to listening to their body and knowing how to listen to their body, right? This is all part of the education, the importance of the education, and the importance of really visually identifying in your mind's eye what I'm talking about, the different aspects of self. So pay attention to your body. That's where the pain comes from. And it led me to sit here in my living room, where it's way more, it's the common room, right? Way more open, less private. But now I'm entering into a space where, yeah, I'll probably stop my recording if someone walks into a room. I'm not fully there yet. In my level of like self-consciousness and the levels of grip that the ego has. If I am saying that I'm completely authentic and I'm coming out of my shell and I'm letting go, I'm basically telling ego to let go of all the things that hold the rest of myself back. And so there's a journey of understanding the aspects and giving them enough respect, like I was mentioning earlier about grace or high, and that how dare I disrespect her as an aspect. Now that I'm becoming aware of this terminology, and I see her, I see grace as an aspect of myself, high. And how dare I see high as a tool? High is a guiding force. High is better. She's more mature. She's wiser. High, there's wisdom in high. There's lots of wisdom in high. Not knowledge or intellect as such, wisdom. And you can't understand it. I'm talking to you, mind and ego. You can't understand the things that come from going through a story of imagination and allowing myself to be guided by inspiration and by intuition, who have yet to really define strongly between. I ought to give characteristics to them too. to better understand those parts. But in a higher frequency, again, if you're, yeah, whatever, just when you're in a higher energetic state, you are able to receive and allow yourself to follow. If you allow yourself to tune into a higher frequency, then you can just let your mind go, let your ego go, and follow on a journey. And whatever that journey is, it just depends on what you're looking at, using your senses. What do you see? What do you smell? What do you feel? Is it in your body? Where is your focus? Put your focus on something else. Your awareness of introspection. Oh, it's the self, it's the ego. Oh, you're looking into form. And as your thoughts and your mind comes alive, you're focusing on your mind. And your mind is having all these thoughts and talking, and it's using language. And at some point, you ask yourself a question. Oh, am I happy? Am I in good shape? Am I treating people well? Am I being the best person I can? What am I neglecting? You ask questions from the mind, and you ask yourself, or if it's to do with your body, you start listening to your body. And all of this process, all this journey is a journey that's undertaken in a higher state, in a higher frequency. And I just label that as high. And so when you attune high, high can give you insights of truth. I think that's the real genius of it. Really, the more I ruminate on this, I think that's the I think that feels like the real genius. Is that is that the real genius is that it comes back to everything that is. What is the present moment, is the now, its existence, its life, its timelessness, because it's every single moment. And through that, you just break through the clouds, the storm clouds of thought. High has been on an adventure and, all encapsulated in that. And then you break through. Making funny faces. And then you're into this sea of nothingness where everything exists because everything is now. And your focus, your awareness is not necessarily darting from thing to thing, investigating the macro, investigating every single, visiting the mind, putting your focus on that, visiting your body, putting your focus on that, visiting, lots of different things, and then going on a mystical journey to just listen, to find out what's going on. Like, talk to me. Forming a relationship with all your aspects of self, your thought forms. But everything has a potential when you're in a higher state that if you grab onto it and let it take you, it will take you. It'll take you anyway. You need to go of truth. And it's not necessarily of the future. It's a possibility that could happen in what you call the future. But it's a possibility that's tied to the recognition of what's happening now. And if you use your awareness and you tune into something that's happening now, and you follow that on a journey, and you allow yourself to completely stay attuned to that and follow that journey, you'll realize so many really, really important truths of what is and what could be. But don't get too hung up on what could be. Your mind can somehow create such like ideas of grandeur, it could be seen as, but it's like it's able to use pattern recognition so well and use future predicting so well that it's able to formulate this beautiful story, this beautiful uh, plan and map. It can visualize what could be, and it's stemming from what is. It's not sheer imagination, it's exercised skill in pattern recognition and to collaboration between the mind quietening the ego and listening to high, tuning into high. So I'm not using high as a tool. Ego is trying to use high as a tool. But as soon as ego tries to take control, that's like, nope, listen. This is not the time for you to take control. And that's part of the relationship that you need to have with different aspects of yourself. Recognize when your ego takes control and give me a little reprimand, or however you want to discipline. It's your relationship with your ego. I've recognized mine as being an immature form, right? But your ego might be a very mature form. So you'd have a different way to communicate with your ego, your avatar, right? Well, we're the avatar. Right, okay, I'm going round and round. But I'm being more myself in a higher state. And I want to live more in this higher state. And I want to prove that it's both more true and more revealing, healthier, more authentic, truly authentic, not just bullshitting, and unafraid and inspired and wonderful. And I want to bring all of these qualities within the aspect of ourself that I am just calling high. And I want us to form a really awesome relationship with that aspect of ourselves. And we all have that aspect of ourselves. High might have slightly different characteristics. I've said before that Grace is whatever I need her to be. And I call Grace as the name of the character that I have formulated to better understand the characteristics of high. I really need to show the diagrams and illustrations while I talk. But that will be a different form of content. This is a vlog. And the vlog is mostly about this recognition, this whole journey. It'll transform to other things once I've created resource and whatever this mapping system might be called. Because resource is more for the story, involving ego and grace and will and whoever other characters will pop up. That's an ongoing story, and it's stemming from the ego. Yeah, there's a lot going on, but it's not bad. It's really, really good, really good, and it's getting better, and it's getting better and better, and I can feel it. I can feel the positivity. I can feel the truth and peace and happiness and wisdom from behaving in the now, in the most authentic, and also taking ego and the mind and the body along with me. And by me, I'm talking about if I attune more to high, in a high state, then I'm able to take. I'm watching the timer, not the lens. Is that why it looks like I'm looking at your chin or your lips? Looking into the lens. Fuck. And here's where ego comes in and goes, oh shit, I feel self-conscious again. It's those levels of awareness within and the conversations that we have with ourselves that's actually explicable. It's explainable because when you put characters and you put terminologies and labels, you are able to talk about yourself in multiple parts, in multiple aspects. And some aspects are seen to have a character that's masculine, and some are feminine, and some are high energy, and some are low energy, and some are old, and some are young. And through our kind of rudimentary forms of understanding through narrative, we immediately just relate to family and people and society and social and characteristics of human beings. And so this is a strong backbone towards